They are planning on starting with, I think, 100 mammoths and putting them in this park in Siberia that they've been...
Hello, it's KanatiGOTH, your favorite dinosaur person. So, we're going to discuss this a little bit. First off, I have some problems with just the video in general, like the editing style and stuff. So, the AI art that is in the video, don't do that. We don't need AI art and stuff like this. It's not where it should be, because videos like this, the more you make and stuff like that, the bigger the following and everything, you can get paid for having these videos up and stuff like that. So what you really need to do is not use AI art. And besides, it looks awful anyway. Like, the real things like paleoart, ooh, chef's kiss, babe. The second thing is that that's Joe Rogan's podcast. Now, I did see an episode where there was a paleontologist on there, and he was he was basically debunking this guy that was saying that dinosaurs never existed and stuff like that, which I would say that 35-minute clip was pretty good, but most of Joe Rogan's stuff, that at least that I've seen, doesn't really make a lot of sense, and it feels very much like for clicks and stuff. So there's the second part. So whenever you see Joe Rogan on his podcast talking about dinosaurs, take a lot of it with a grain of salt, unless it actually has a paleontologist on it. So there's something for you there. And then the video says that, are dinosaurs coming back? When the video's not even about dinosaurs. It's about mammoths. The thing that we can actually get DNA from, because we have a mummified, and I'm not talking about like the Edmontosaurus that I've said before, where we found that it had the hooves on the front legs and the muscle had fossilized, and the skin impressions had the skin on the body had fossilized and stuff like that. That's not what I mean. What I mean is an actual frozen, dead, mummified baby mammoth. Look it up. It's insane. I can't believe we found that. So you kind of advertise as if it's about dinosaurs, and it's not about dinosaurs. It's about mammoths, and how scientists are trying to use the DNA that they can get out of that mammoth, put it into an elephant, and then release that child, if it even incubates, even if it survives, which is kind of a low possibility for it to survive, because it's such old DNA, because it's tricky to play God, as we've seen in the Jurassic Park movies. And then releasing that infant out into the world in Siberia to see how bringing megafauna like mammoths could work. So I'm not a big Cenozoic guy. That's the time after the dinosaurs. So I don't know a lot of information about those kind of megafauna when it comes to that. So I do know that this is true, though. They are trying to create a new, not a new, but like recreate a mammoth. That is true. That is absolutely true. They are trying to do that. I don't think it's a good idea, though. And here's why. These animals died millions of years ago for a reason. We came along. We showed up. We hunted most things to extinction because at the time, obviously, we weren't that smart. I mean, we were smart, don't get me wrong. We can make fire, we can make spears, clothes, weapons, we had communication, we had language, we had art. Like, that's some smart stuff. Not a lot of animals can do that. But bringing back extinct animals such as megafauna like that, or dinosaurs, not a good idea. Because we don't know how that is going to affect our own ecosystem that we have now. As far as we know, if we made a mammoth and then just tried to make more mammoths, so then mammoths were no longer extinct, let's say that they release a couple of them in Siberia. They make a baby, right? And it's eventually, let's say it makes a whole family or whatever. what if that family needs something specific to eat that we don't have on Earth anymore? What if that family adapts to Siberia and starts taking over other territories of animals? What if those animals adapt, right, and start taking over human territories? What if they're pretty strong and they multiply a lot? Like, we don't know. Same goes with dinosaurs. Like, dinosaurs, they lived in a time where there was a lot more oxygen in the air than there is today. And the fact that we're trying to, well, the lie, I guess, that's going around saying that we can bring dinosaurs back from the dead Jurassic Park style, it's not true. We can't do that. The DNA doesn't last that long. Dinosaurs were around for over 170 million years, almost 200 million years, right? So getting, let's say, Coelophysis, right? That was the Triassic period. That was the beginning of the dinosaurs. That is going to be impossible to recreate. Tyrannosaurus Rex, 66 million years ago. Impossible to recreate, because there is no possible way to get any sort of dino DNA from any kind of dinosaur. They died out way too long ago, 66 million years ago, and it's just one of those things where we can't get it. We just can't get any DNA. It just broke down at a certain point, to the point to where we can't, there's nothing to get. But Jack Horner, a paleontologist, really wants to recreate a dinosaur. Again, all the reasons I said about the mammoth could be problems with recreating dinosaurs too. What if there's something in their brain that triggers when you mess with those genes? Because what he's trying to do is reverse engineer a bird. So, as we all know, birds are dinosaurs, right? So his project is called the Chickenosaurus Rex, or the Chickenosaurus, or whatever. And I think it's a really bad idea. One, you're reverse engineering a bird embryo. You're trying to trigger the tooth gene. You're trying to trigger the claw gene in the hands. You're trying to trigger the longer tail. And then what if this thing comes out and it's an absolute abomination that cannot survive? So you play God for, I don't know, 25 to 30 years trying to figure out how to re-engineer a dinosaur, and then it comes out and you've just made this life suffer because you manipulate, you tried to play God, it came out and it wasn't able to survive. Not that it died instantly. What if it does start breathing and start, it's alive, but because of maybe the amount of oxygen, or maybe because it needs a specific nutrient or some kind of protein or something to stay alive, because we are messing with those genes, now we're killing these animals just by making them born. I know that was really long-winded. I'm gonna try and make a series out of this. I had somebody comment and was like, you can make a whole series on debunking like dinosaur stuff, and I'm like, actually I could. I'm not an expert. Now listen, I'm not an expert, but anytime that I can get new information about dinosaurs, I'm there. I want to know whatever it is, what their poop looked like, which, by the way, they're called coprolites, and just anything. I don't care. Anything to know about dinosaurs, I will. So basically, recreating a mammoth probably isn't a good idea because it could mess with our own ecosystem. And recreating dinosaurs is a bad idea. One, we don't have the DNA to get actual dinosaurs. And two, Chickenosaurus could just be an abomination, and I think we should just leave them in the past.